everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and if you're new to the channel, welcome. Today I'm looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars X-Wing Fighter Red 3 with its closed wings. Now, this starfighter made its first on-screen appearance in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. And for those who don't know, Red 3 is the call sign for the third member in Red Squadron, Biggs Darklighter. Now, a little on Biggs. Biggs and Luke Skywalker were good friends on the planet Tatooine, except how Luke never got to go to the Academy. Biggs went. He didn't like what he saw, and he defected right to the Rebellion. And like we see in the film, Luke and Biggs actually meet up on Yavin 4, so that's pretty awesome. Spoiler alert, Biggs and this X-Wing are both destroyed at the Battle of Yavin by Darth Vader, so that kind of stinks. So anyway, looking at this cool model, we're looking at a length of 3 inches, which is pretty cool, and we do have a lot to cover. We're going to look at the mold, the paint, put on a stand, compare it to some other ships, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, kicking this review off looking at the mold. By now, I reviewed dozens of X-Wings. Everybody should be a champ at this by now. But quickly, I'll go over the main points of the ship, and then we'll get nice and close to show off those details. So, starting in the front, we have our nose cone, fuselage, canopy, astromech droid. Right here is the S-foil mechanism. We have our 4 engines on the wings. Looking pretty good. Our wings, and they are closed. Pretty awesome. We have our 4 laser cannons, which came out pretty good. A little warp down here, but it's alright. Here we have the back. Pretty decent. For the bottom of the craft, we have our 3 rivets, peg port for the stand, copyright crap, and just nice details going down here on the fuselage, the wings, and the engines. And if you're wondering, over here and here should be proton torpedo launchers. I don't see any detail for them, but they are supposed to be there. So that basically covers every part of this particular X-Wing. So now let's get a closer look. Alright, having a closer look, let's begin with the nose cone. Pretty nice, paint's a little around it, but not too bad. Going around. Pretty sick. Top of the fuselage, some nice detail in here. We got our canopy. Little paint mishap there, but nicely detailed. On the back, we have our astromech droid, and some great details back here. Go to the back of the ship. We got some details there. Kind of blah, but you can tell what it is. Looking at the bottom, our rivet, stand connector port, seam line, and then some great details going back down to the nose cone. Pretty cool. Now looking at the wings, I love this. Look at all that. Pipes and little modules. That's great stuff. Coming down the wing, we got my favorite part right here. It is great. Nice. And then we can see where the plastic meets the die cast. Pretty nice. I think that came out great. For this side, it's basically the same thing. And for the bottoms, they're a little different, but still some great detail. A couple paint rubs here and there, which is odd because I don't play with these. This came out of the package like that. Well, what are you going to do? We have our rivet. Pretty cool. Copyright crap, some great details on here. Looking at this side, pretty nice. Now looking at the back of the engines, you can see they are a little recessed, so that's cool. Again, more paint rub there. And at the front, see a little recess with the engines in there. Pretty awesome. And right here, you can see it's basically flat, and our seam line goes right down to our laser cannons, which are nicely molded. Check out all that detail there. Nice. Back's just flat, and then it comes down here. Love that. Pretty damn good. And all 4 laser cannons are the same. There's not really any difference here. I think it came out good. Here it is, a shot from the interior. You can see there's some detailing on the side here. But besides that, they're all identical. And that does it for the mold. I think they did a decent job with the Red 3. We got some nice detailing going down the fuselage, the wings, the engines. Same for the underside. Pretty good. We know the mold's good, but we did see some issues with the paint. So let's take a look at that now. Now, looking at the paint of Red 3, I think on the whole they did a decent job. We have 5 different colors here, and the color choices do not change at all from Luke's X-Wing. The only thing that changes is where the colors go. And that's important because in the films, each X-Wing, even though they look similar, did have little color differences here and there, so nice touch. So the first color up is a nice tan, which covers the laser cannons, wings, engines, fuselage, and nose cone. And I think they did a decent job. It matches Luke's X-Wing, and that's awesome. Everything's painted. Now, there is some issues with this. As we saw looking at the mold, there's a lot of paint rub on here. Actually, the paint is actually off, and you can see the metal. And that's on a couple different spots. Mainly the engines in the back and on the bottom. And I don't play with these, so that came out of the box like that, which is a shame, but it is what it is, I guess. It's just a pain. Now, next we have black for our windows, which came out amazing. Very nicely done. And the canopy section is that bluish gray we've seen before. And it's very sloppy. As you can see here, it's kind of dripping out. And right here, just misaligned. And it's going on to the tan. Little issue there. Now, for the rest of the paint, to me, it looks great. We have our red with the call sign 3. On the top of the wings and the bottom, very nice. And we have the red going down the fuselage. And I love the detail they did here. And they did it with this side as well, right here, to make it look worn and used. That is amazing. They did the same for this side. Pretty cool. Now also, we do get yellow on the wing and on the sides as well. And that basically does it for the paint. Is it perfect? No, but you know, from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. And just like most Hot Wheels ships, it comes with a cool translucent stand. Peg it into port like so, hear that click, and you're good to go. For a quick size comparison with the Hot Wheels Star Wars X-Wing Red 3, I have it next to the Red 5 with the open wing configuration, and on the left, the Resistance X-Wing. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars X-Wing Red 3 with closed wings. Again, first seen in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and for its length, it's 3 inches long, which is great. So by now, I reviewed tons of X-Wings. You should all know my opinion. I love the design. I grew up watching it, playing it in games such as Rogue Squadron. So awesome, very iconic. So when it comes to the Hot Wheels models, what is my opinion on the Red 3? Well, first of all, I think the mold is great. Remember, these are for kids. And there's a lot of fine details in here, especially in my favorite section, the wings and the engines. All the little pipes are there, everything's accounted for, great stuff. We even have a lot of detail by the astromech in front of the canopy, on the fuselage, even on the bottom. Beautiful detailing, great job with this. Now for the paint, at first it looks great. You got the red, the yellow, the main color of tan, the canopy, everything stands out and it looks great. But as we look closer at it, we can see that the blue is a little misaligned on the canopy, and that kind of icks me. The biggest problem for me, though, is all the little paint nicks on this. You know, you got the painted die cast, and here and there you can see different pieces of metal showing through, and that is a problem. And moving on to another positive, you get that nice translucent stand with the Rebellion symbol on it, and I love that. It helps it blend in with the rest of the collection, and that's what I'm all about. Now, if you're looking to buy this, I would suggest checking your Targets, Walmarts. I heard a couple people say they're in dollar stores now. Toys R Us is dead, so don't count on them. However, I do suggest checking eBay or Amazon or other online sellers because you never know what you're going to find. You know, be patient, check around different stores, check online, and sooner or later you will find what you're looking for. Like, geez, it took me over a year to find the Imperial Cargo Shuttle. And instead of paying 30 or 40 bucks, I got it for like, let me see, that was on discount, so $3 and change. So hooray for me. So anyway, I recommend this ship for anybody who's a fan of A New Hope, X-Wings, or Biggs Darklighter. That's everything I have to say about this beautiful ship today. I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, hit that like button. If you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, everybody.